Hey guys, welcome to another United Way podcast.
Sure.
We haven't came up with a name yet, but I am here with the infamous Kelly Jasen with United Way.
Hey.
And if you don't know this person, which I'm pretty sure everybody does, but just in case you don't know, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. This is Tiffany Orner, Military Engagement Manager for Forever Warriors.
Yes, we are so happy to have Tiffany on here. So, Tiffany, for the viewers that don't know about Forever Warriors, if you want to talk on that a little bit.
Educate them, for sure.
Educate them, yeah.
So Forever Warriors is a nonprofit that is powered/funded by Step One Automotive Group. Step One Automotive Group is a group of dealerships. They operate out of 3 states and have over 24 dealerships, over 800 employees. So what they decided to do was get intentional with how they support the military community and gave me $500,000 one January 2023 to be the change that's so desperately needed for service members, veterans, and their families here in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
So just so everyone's tracking, I'm not here to stand up any new programs or anything like that. Instead, I align with those of us that are operating with integrity, that will call the veteran back, that will answer the emails, and really work with them to help resolve whatever issues that they may have. And then I do other fun stuff too.
Yeah. She's been making a big impact in the community, and she came in January.
Yes, sir.
Full force, and it's just
No stopping. What do you say? All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
Gas, no brakes.
That's Tiffany.
Yes.
But we're here today because you guys are launching something together with United Way and Forever Warriors. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Awesome. We are so excited to be launching Mission United. Woohoo!
Yay!
Yeah.
This is an initiative that exists in many other parts of the country, through other United Ways. We're each our own independent nonprofit. And it's just for us to be in the mindset of better serving those who served us. How do we wrap our arms around our military community, our veterans, their families, and make sure that we are doing all we can so that they can access services that are available? And then when there are gaps in services, figure out collaboratively what we can do to address those needs of our military. So I'm so excited about this. And Tiffany's been a great friend, just kind of leaning in with us and trying to figure out what this is going to look like for Okaloosa and Walton counties.
Yes. So one of the first things I asked Kelly, I got here in Q4 of last year, but I kind of sat, right? I watched how Step One moved in the community, kind of taking notes. And one of the first things I asked her was hey, do you have a Mission United? She was like, no. And so I was
but on my dream list.
Right. Well, that's what it was.
I just made it through COVID.
Right. Like, hey, man, you just got here. But no, so like she said, Mission Uniteds are in military hotspots throughout the United States, right? So I'm familiar with the Mission United of San Antonio, Southern California. Tampa, I believe, has a pretty big Broward.
Broward, Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Northeast Florida, over in Jacksonville.
Oh
My goodness.
I love
Theirs
my
is beautiful.
Jacksonville family. Yes, exactly. So the opportunity to align with the United Way is huge for Forever Warriors. Because like I said, why rework the wheel? Why should I have to, try and figure out all of these things when she has a network of 50 plus nonprofits already operating successfully?
Yeah. I think that's one of the questions that we got when we were over at Hurlburt Field last week. Why does this make sense for United Way? And I'm like, because we've been doing this in the civilian sector for 65 years. This is what we do. We bring nonprofits together. We choose that collaboration over competition. We are just trying to make services more accessible, break down barriers so that all of our neighbors, have what it is that they need in order to really thrive. So I think that we've been doing it, but we've been siloed from what the military community does and all the great services that they provide. So Mission United will be that opportunity to create some synergy between all of these incredible organizations. We all have that same common goal of serving those who served us, but it can be really complicated if you're the one who's in need of services and you go to your first stop to file for maybe child care subsidy. And then after that, you have to go across town to the food pantry. And then after that, you've got to wait 2 weeks until you can get an appointment with your food stamp benefits. So we're really trying to think through strategically, how can we make it easier? People, especially our military community, you have unique challenges that you're facing, and we don't want anybody to give up, right? We don't want anybody just to get so tired having to tell your story over and over again, having to shuttle around, point A to point B across the community. So I'm really excited to play that role. United Way is thrilled to be continuing to pull our partners together to serve our community.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I didn't even realize there was like more Mission Uniteds all over. Like, this is the first time I heard it. So, but realizing that it's, I think you've got a great partner here too,
right?
To really. Yeah. Well, how can the public support you guys?
Sure. Do you want to talk about our plans through the end of the year?
Yes. So from here through the end of this year, we're on like a listening tour, right? We are going to different military installations. We already hit up Hurlburt, one part of it, but we have, and Eggland as well. That's right. And that Duke Field is up next, and just really becoming intentional, right? With and listening. So often we don't listen. We just make assumptions. Yeah. And we're reactionary. We got to get ahead of it. I read a lot. So Bishop Desmond Tutu has a quote that says, "We have to stop pulling people out of the river and go upstream and find out why they're falling in." So that's why we're having these meetings with senior leadership, to ensure that, we're checking the boxes, and the ideas that you and I are coming together actually are going to be digestible for those in need.
Right, and they're the right services, because I can sit here in my office, all day long. My father was a navigator, back in the 70s. My brother recently retired, Green Beret, but I haven't lived it myself. So if I'm sitting here siloed and putting services and designing services that I think the community needs, I'm probably going to miss the mark, right? So that listening is so important, so we can really just try to better understand the challenges that our community is really facing, and then we'll be looking at, well, now what can we do? Right. We know that there are some pockets of need, because we look at ALICE data, ALICE being that asset limited, income constrained, employed, a United Way acronym that really helps us understand families that are working, they live above poverty, but they're still really struggling financially to get by. Yeah. And our hot spots, number 3 and number 4, are Eglin Air Force Base at 61% and Hurlburt at, I think it was 58 or 59%. So we know the needs are there, and we want to create that safe space where people feel it's okay to ask for help. We're not going to report it back to, your unit or your commander. There's no type of repercussions that are going to come into play. We just want to help. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of nonprofits that just want to help, and we can bring everybody together and make it a little bit easier. I think that's going to really be the winning combo.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think a big thing is too, like, no more shame, right? We shouldn't feel, because I was one of, I don't even think I was Alice level when I served and after my service. I was on WIC when I was in the Air Force. And then after, we were on food stamps. I've lived in subsidized housing, just trying to figure out what right looked like for me. So to be able to take part in that Alice
our simulation
a couple weeks ago, it brought it all back a little, it was rough. It was, a realization. And as she said, to see that Eglin and Hurlburt, our military, they're on the struggle bus still. I served a long time ago, and we're still here, so we got to fix it. And that's what Mission United, that's what we're going to do.
And that's, with me, I'm an Army vet too. I was in the Army for 6 years, and, the struggles afterwards too. So, like, I have a question for you guys. So, are you guys working with like veterans as well? And then also, what about like mental health and stuff? Because I know that's a big thing when it comes to, especially a lot of people who are out of the military now who don't really have military benefits anymore, to go seek counseling and stuff like that. Is that something?
Absolutely. We have some great nonprofit partners that are in that space already, that are providing those mental health services, trying to reduce the wait list, trying to get people connected, to the local medical professionals that can provide those services. So through Mission United, we'll be launching a fund. We'll be asking for money, really cool. And hopefully that'll help us open up some additional slots, to better serve. So I think with some of the events that we've talked about doing, we might target more of those active duty. But some of our partners, like Meals on Wheels, they have a high number of clients that are receiving those home delivered meals. Boys and Girls Clubs, Early Learning Coalition, they're caring and providing that great childcare for our babies. So there's a number of our nonprofits that are in those spaces, and we really trust them to be experts kind of in their industry industry. United Way's role then is how do we get them to partner? How do we provide them with either more volunteers or funding so that they can do more of that good work here in our community?
Awesome.
And that's what I'm doing. So a lot of the VSOs, veteran service organizations that I'm aligned with, ask Kelly. I've been calling them up like, you need to get on the United Way train because we want to make sure that they're funded. Alana, Navy vet, she's in the Pensacola area, but if there's a veteran that's in need, say, Florida Power and Light's going to turn off their water or excuse me, their electricity, or their car's going to get repossessed, they can call Alana and she will help them if they're veterans, but she's going to make sure I's are dotted, T's are crossed, right?
Yeah,
she's going to hold everyone accountable. But again, with the Mission United, we're going to really focus on, the active duty side, but there are resources out there, credible people that are operating with integrity that can help our veteran community. And Forever Warriors is still there. So when it comes to mental health, though, yes, there are mental health, again, partnering, organizations on the Forever Warrior side that are for profit that will see military. They won't have to worry about that recourse or losing some of that security clearance. None of that.
Yeah.
So it's all there. It's all there.
I love it. So after the whole listening segment, where what's the next steps after that?
Events. It's events, it's meaningful engagement opportunities for our military community. It's launching that fund so that we could really look for some financial resources to fill in those gaps where they're needed. And it's also doing a better job promoting the Florida Veterans Support Line. So all throughout the state, there is this number that our veterans can call, or active duty or their families, if they are trying to connect to community resources. Especially, this is also the mental health crisis line, if they're having any substance abuse or any of those types of challenges. So you can reach that here locally just by calling 211. If you identify as somebody in the military or somebody who has served, they'll ask if you want to be connected to a peer, to somebody else who has served. So they have those trained professionals who maybe they're not in the same branch or they didn't deploy the same locations, as that caller. But it just breaks down some of that concern. You can start 2 steps ahead, just knowing that person on the other line has a better understanding of what you've gone through in your life. So 211, an incredibly important number for everybody to remember. And again, you'll get connected then to that Florida Veterans Support Line if you've served.
We'll put that number in the video right here.
Yeah,
so
and then me too, so you got Kelly, that part, and you got Tiffany out and boots on the ground making it a little uncomfortable for people, right? Because we have got to do better. We've got to do better. So there's other systems, checks and balances in place. Stay tuned. It's going to get weird in 2024, but in the best way possible, right? We've got to do better. And it's so much more than thank you for your service on Veterans Day or Memorial. It's so much more than that. And, the Florida Panhandle is the largest population of military per capita in the U.S. without public transportation.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're here, but everyone just needs to fall in and show up. We got to show up. And that's a big part of our events, and some of the engagements that we're going to do in 2024 is going to come from this listening tour. Like, what does Hurlburt need? What does Eglin need? What does Duke Field need? And then once we grow that, other, compound effect.
How can like anybody watching or any businesses or nonprofits, how can they get a hold of you guys to be part of this?
Awesome. You can visit our website, united-way.org/mission-united, and it'll be our page with all things Mission United related. From there, you're on our website. You can find contact information. We can maybe get a fancy thing here. This is my phone number. Here's my email.
We'll put it right
do
there.
Point. Make it so it's right there.
Yes, we'll do that for sure.
But Tiffany and I want to hear from you. My email's Kelly, Kelly, @united-way.org.
Yes.
Yours is a little longer, maybe.
Yeah, it's T as in Tiffany, ORNER, @steponeauto.com. I am an employee of Step One, but I am on loan to the nonprofit Forever Warriors.
Yeah. And we'll put all their information right there, so if you missed any spelling or anything, we'll definitely have it there. But is there anything else you guys want anybody to know about Mission United before we kind of wrap it up?
I I think we got it. We're
be
excited.
It's gonna be dope.
So proud to be able to be leading these efforts here. And I think that key is that collaboration. And that's the piece that's really missing, is that there are so many nonprofits that are trying so hard, but we could be siloed, right, when you're focused on your mission. So when Mission United can come together and kind of create that synergy, I just think so many great things are going to happen for our military community.
Yeah, I agree. And super excited to keep moving forward with purpose. That's all.
And these two ladies here, they're disruptors. Like they
Yay!
So they're definitely going to be making some moves for sure.
Yes,
so.
yes.
But I think that'll be it for this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Awesome.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.